All right.
Okay.
Well,
So the research that has been done in this presentation was conducted by myself, Harmen, Goyal.
And Krishna, Khanal.
So we're going to be talking to you guys about the Robot Master and what it is.
Okay, the presentation outline will be followed as purpose of Robot Master, features and compatibility, advantages and disadvantages, industrial applications, competitors, cost, followed by closing remarks. And you guys have questions after that? I'm sure you will. You can ask us then.
So what is Robot Master? So first of all, the main thing is it is an offline software. That meaning it can be done on like a computer. It's something like what we did last semester or second year with the Octopus, where we could actually sit at a computer and program a application, and I think it was welding that we did. So that's the point of it is, it eliminates teach pendants to a certain extent. Programming can be done on the computer, so you don't need to be on the actual floor. This all happens through CAD and CAM models. So when you have a model, you can actually have it on your software, and it can be used for many different things. So you don't need equipment or anything. It's just an offline software. This was first, the idea of the Robot Master was first born in 2001. And the following year is when they actually released their first version of Robot Master. And when this was all happening, robot integrators and people that use robots, like robot manufacturing companies and companies that use them, they're actually very confident that this software would benefit them in many different ways. And we'll talk about them further on in this presentation.
Coming down to features and compatibility. So, Robot Master being an offline programming software itself is a big plus because you save and increase production time. A feature that's very specific to Robot Master is its ability to be highly visual. And you can see that on the figure on the top right. It's presenting a joint configuration, so it's very popular with beginners. You don't need to be a senior weld tech or a really expert on this to program it. On the bottom picture, it gives you two different joint configuration for programming the same point. It's a very specific feature that's only found on Robot Master. It will prevent an collision or any errors, and it will do this automatically. You do have the ability to manually drag the tool and program it as well. Robot Master is compatible with ABB, FANUC, KUKA, and Yaskawa. These are the main or the big companies it is compatible with. We did find it was compatible with way more companies than the competitors that we will be comparing later on.
So there are many advantages to this software, and there are some limitations. As mentioned before, it is completely offline. So that means the programming time can be cut by many hours, and that's due to the part not even physically actually being with the company, but you can program it with the CAD-CAM models that will be provided. So, if a company is buying a part and it's being shipped, this program can already be started, which is a huge thing, right? You'll increase production time and potentially even labor costs. The software is strong enough to detect different reach limits and joint limits for the robot. So that would actually prevent collisions from even happening before they happen. And not only is this capable of welding applications, but you can actually use it for many different other things, such as trimming, 3D machining, deburring, polishing, dispensing, grinding, painting, and surface treatments. So there are some limitations in this software. As I mentioned, robotic programming time can be cut, but not always. It actually sometimes can take a little bit longer to program than just normal teach to teach on the pendant, or sorry, point to point on the pendant, and that's because you need to do testing. Not all parts will be exactly the same as they are in the CAD model. Dimensions can change, or different, kind of things can occur that will mean the part isn't exactly the same as the CAD model. And this also doesn't do pick and place or palette simulation applications. It's not capable yet. So it is used in industry, and it's used by many different companies. Some of the industrial applications that we are going to talk about is it's used on Mercedes-Benz. It's used at Boeing. ARC Specialties, which is an automated manufacturing systems company. And this is actually used in a company in northern Germany, which is called Mavert. So what they needed to do was they needed to fasten dozens of threaded bolts. And this saved them months of programming. Since it saved so much time, the labor costs actually went down and their production was increased. So since this was a bigger application, RobotMaster actually was very helpful. It saved them hundreds of points to teach because it was mostly all done on the pendant, on this online software, and the pendant wasn't needed as much to sit there and teach it point to point.
Okay, coming down to competitors. RobotMaster being a offline programming software, it has a lot of competitors based on the application it's going to be providing. Okay, on the figures we have listed, we have screenshots of all these softwares as they would be seen when you're programming it. On figure A, we have RobotMaster. Figure B, RobotDK. C, Defoy. And D, we have Octopus. Octopus we may be familiar with because we have a lab on this. What makes RobotMaster different than the others is its ability to be highly visual and its function of auto collision prevention. And B, RobotDK, its advantage is in a sense that it has a free trial for 1 year and it's very cheap compared to the others, which we will touch on later. Defoy, it has auto curved detection, and this is actually really big on Europe. I actually didn't know this when we were researching, but it's not as well known in North America. A disadvantage for Octopus is as of 2019, we found that it only supported 15 robot band. Coming down to cost. So as you can see on the table, there's a range of cost. With RobotMaster, you can buy it from 10,000 to 40,000. Defoy, 20 to 54,000. Defoy is the highest mid-range offline programming software on this list. Octopus, 18 to 30,000. RobotDK, 12 to 15,000. You can see it. They have ranges. This is because you can upgrade or downgrade the software. So if you're buying it for cutting versus welding, it will have different and varying cost. A advantage for Defoy, because it's really cheap, you can actually buy a 1 year license for this software and it's only $3,000. This is a big advantage because the other three listed here do not provide that, and after you're done with your trial period, you can actually keep the program and play around with it. The only disadvantage after 1 year is you cannot really download it to a robot.
So to conclude our presentation, I'm sure you guys are well aware now that it's an offline software, which eliminates the need to point-to-point teaching on the pendant. It is very user-friendly, so you don't need to be some kind of offline programming expert or it has such complex like it's just not it's very user friendly. So you can be a beginner and it won't be hard for you to program on it. And it is used in a lot of different robot manufacturers. Most of them we've actually already used, and I'm sure we've heard of all of them, but we've used most of them ourselves, and those are the most common ones that we'll see around. But it is capable of many, many different robot manufacturers.
With Robot Master, the advantage does come from it being a offline programming software and its ability to be highly visual. As Harmen mentioned, it's popular, super popular for beginners. And it does provide high-end functionality for a mid-range offline programming software, and it is capable of conducting many different applications. The features will be specific to different application as well. Right, if you guys have questions, we can take them now.
I'm just wondering, so between